everyone! Today we're creating these crepe paper crocuses. I decided to put the flowers in a jar, so I bought this clear mason jar from Michael's and this multi-surface acrylic paint in an aqua color and a foam brush, and I just used that to coat the inside of the jar. And I did a couple coats. It didn't end up being completely opaque though, and that's fine. You just want it to be covered enough that it doesn't show what's on the inside. To make the flower, I'm starting with some 18 gauge floral stem wire, and I will put all the materials in the description box below, but I cut it to about this length, which is about 4.5 to 5 inches long. And then I took some yellow-orange crepe paper, which again I will put in the description, and I cut a rectangular shaped piece just like that. So it will fold around the top of the wire. So I put some glue on the inside, and then I just folded it and crumpled it around the wire like this, and then twisted the top that was above the wire. And you may need to use a little more hot glue to secure it. So it ends up looking like this. And then on that center part of the flower, there's also 3 other pieces. So I'm just cutting 3 shapes just like this, and then rounding off the top. So I created 3 of those. And then I'm taking those 3 and I'm just going to glue them around the center, spacing them fairly evenly apart. So I have one there, put the second here, and then the third there. So it ends up looking like this. And now onto the petals. So I'm just going to cut a shape just like this. They don't have to be exact, and they can vary from petal to petal. But I would describe it kind of as an oval with a piece sticking off the bottom. Then I'm taking a purple marker. This is a Tombow dual brush pen, but it doesn't have to be this kind of marker. And I'm making vertical lines on the petal and then making it darkest right at the top edge. Then once I've done that, I'm taking the petal and just stretching it out in the middle, which starts to create this curved petal-like shape. So the finished petal looks like this. Now I'm going to take that and attach it to the center of the flower. So we're just going to be putting glue on that piece that sticks off the bottom. And then just quickly glue that to the center wire, keeping the top of the petal about the same height as the center of the flower, or just slightly higher. And then just arrange it how you'd like it so it's not right up against it. So it looked like this. Now I'm going to repeat the process of creating another petal. Just to show you one more time. It looked like this. Then I created the lines on it, front and back, and then stretched it out. And then I put glue on the bottom and glued it to the center wire also, right next to the other one. And I'm arranging them kind of so there's 3 equally spaced around the center. So I just have 2 right now, but the third will go in that front spot. So here's the third petal. And I glued it in the open area. So it looked like this. Now create 3 more petals, so there will be 6 total petals for each flower. So I found that it works best if you place these in between the petals of the first row. So the spot where there's two petals coming together, place them there. So I just went around and glued each of these in place. So after the petals are attached, you may need to do some adjustments to them, but the flower ended up looking like this. For the next step, I cut 3 pieces just like this out of green crepe paper. And I'm taking each of those, and wherever I can see the entire petal, I'm just gluing it in the center bottom of that petal. And there should be only about 3 that show on the flower. And you can trim off any excess and add more glue if you need to. Then for the next step, I'm taking some green floral tape. And I'm going to put some glue at the top right here and just start wrapping it around. And this tape works best if you pull it really tight, and that way it will kind of stick to itself better. So just carefully wrap all the way down the stem until about an inch or so from the bottom. Then when you get to the bottom, put a dot of glue and wrap it around that to secure it in place and trim it off. So the flower looked like this at this point. We'll talk more about this foam in just a second, but I just wanted to show you that it's a really good way to hold up your flower while you're working on it. So I got this foam cone from Michael's in the floral department, and I pushed it into the jar as far as it would go. And then I just took a marker to mark off where I'm going to cut it. So I pulled it back out of the jar, and I took some scissors and just cut it roughly on that line. And then took that top piece off, and then I just took some pieces off until it was fairly level, and then I pushed it into the jar. Next, I'm taking some black Spanish moss that I got from Joann's, and I'm going to use this to cover the top of the foam so it looks more natural. So I'm just bunching up pieces of it and then using hot glue to attach it to the foam. And be very careful when you're doing this because it's easy to burn yourself on the hot glue. And then once it was attached, I just took it and trimmed it all off so it was short like this and it looked more like dirt. Then I took each of the flowers and just arranged them by pressing them into the foam. The last step for these flowers is to cut a green piece of crepe paper like this, and on most flowers I use 3 of these. And we're just going to be gluing this to the bottom of the stem about where the dirt is. And then I just took scissors and I rounded off the top part, and this should look about like a blade of grass or a wide blade of grass. And then I kind of stretched it out a little bit and folded it in half and crumpled it so it looked more real. Then I put glue on the bottom of the stem, or you can put it on the bottom of the paper, and just glued it in place right above the dirt level. And it sticks up just past the bottom of the petals. So it looked like this. And I repeated that 2 more times, so there was 3 of these. And that is the finished flower. Create as many of these as you'd like to fill up your vase, and they come in a variety of beautiful colors. And that's it! Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more from my channel, feel free to subscribe or click any of the other items on screen, and I hope you have a great day.